Alright, and here we are back for another episode of Time TENSHI, and this time we are going to meet Rose, as you can see. And I say thanks for switching in. Do you say it in England? Switching in? For tuning in. Then let's go. Oh, Rose. Oh, Kenji. Come in. I wanted to speak with you. Huh. She got more of an English accent than I remember. I wanted to apologize for my behavior earlier. I was certainly not behaving like myself. May I try introducing myself again? Of course. She reached her hand out, and I took it. She smiled at me sweetly. My name is Rose. I hail from the southern part of England. I thought I could hear an accent. Haha. Well, it's not nearly as thick as it used to be. That's for certain. So, what exactly happened to make you behave so differently? Well, Michelle is more of the expert when it comes to the science behind it, but going through the time window definitely has effects on every person, male or female. There used to be far worse things that could happen before we were allowed to go through, like complete adrenal failure and becoming comatose. It took us a while to work out the kinks on these sorts of things. So you tested it on things? I could see her shift uncomfortably. Not exactly comfortable talking about it. Is there anything else aside from that you'd like to know? Yeah. How did you start working for my grandfather? Well, that's an easy one. He was searching for some of the best scientific and engineering minds the world had to offer. His words, not mine. So, you were studying to be an engineer too? Nope. I was studying general science and pharmaceuticals. Also brain chemistry, human biology, all sorts of stuff like that. I was gonna be one of those people who works on new medications. I still do when I'm not working here. Wow, cool. What medications have you made so far? That's classified. Sorry. Anything else you wanna know while you're here? I noticed some fancy headgear on the elegant chair in her room, and a saber leaning against the wall. So you're into fencing? Oh yes, I grew up learning how to fence. I also enjoy a bit of tennis from time to time. Very active then, huh? Yep, I go out every day for a run around the lab perimeter and work out in the gym near the entertainment center. I could give you some lessons sometime if you want. I warn you, however, I get very wet whenever I work out. Oh, I mean sweaty. I get very... Never mind. Anything else you wanted to ask me? Are you feeling better now? As opposed to before? Well, it usually takes a full 24 hours for the effects to wear off physically. Mentally, myself and Kyo can revert back pretty quickly, though we still tend to slip up during the drawback period. Does Michelle not go through the time window, or do the mental effects just last longer on her? Michelle is our commander and advisor. She makes sure nothing goes wrong while we are through the time window. So she kind of has to stay on the other side and watch, no matter what, since she knows the technical stuff much better than Kyu and I. What about my grandfather? TENSHI keeps track of many other things while the time window is open. Usually he's there for emergency backup. Earlier today he went to get you, even though I was still through the window, because he trusted Michelle enough to handle it on her own. He respects Michelle quite a bit with his technology. She was one of the biggest helpers in actually putting it together. I see. Any other questions? I think that's all about for now. I should let you rest. I'll talk to you more later, I hope. Of course, Kenji. You're living here with us now. You will obviously see me around. Her smile was absolutely stunning. I stepped out back into the hallway with a wave. I should visit Michelle. Hey Michelle. Oh, hello Kenji. Still around, I see. Yeah, everything alright? Just fine. Just fixing up a few things on the database before we prepare for our next jump through the time window. It takes a lot of energy and planning to make sure everything goes correctly. I see. Was there anything you wanted to know, Kenji? I can answer any question you have. I know your grandfather wanted you to wait, but if you're up for it, I can give you a bit more detail on the workings of this lab. Yeah, actually, I was kind of wondering about a few things. Like what? Well, why did you agree to have my grandfather build this? Ah, that's an easy one. You see, I'm the eldest of the trio of the girls here, and such. I've been pursuing my scientific and engineering career for quite a while now. I've always wanted to be part of a bigger project and push things to their absolute limit. Sometimes that is the only way to discover new things. When your grandfather came to me, I was still over at the MIT, getting my PhD in mechanical engineering, minoring in materials science engineering. Graham saw this as the perfect combination for his studies and asked me to help out. Don't you find it kind of suspicious that he got all girls for his project? At first glance, it is extremely suspect, yes. I had my doubts about his intentions. But once you get to know him, you can tell that Gramps is a very nice and genuine man. He didn't come to us because we were attractive or because we were female. He came to us because we were some of the most intelligent in our fields across the entire world. Your grandfather, he did his research. He went for younger people as opposed to older people because he felt they get more open minds. So, did he tell you why he wanted to make a time machine in the first place? Grams is a very interesting individual. He literally told me the first time we discussed the idea of his, that he wanted to do this simply to see if he could. I asked him, what if you put up money and resources into this pipe dream, only to fall on your face? And you know what he told me? He said, well, then at least I tried to do something impossible instead of just dreaming about it for the rest of my life. Gramps wanted to test his imagination, his ideas. He wanted to put forth his formulae and break the laws that mankind have set for themselves. And look, he did it. So, what do you guys use it for then? Well, we were going to use it to confirm history. Merely as observers, we were going to go back and make sure that the things in history books actually played out the way they were. Scientists and engineers working as historians. If you want to simplify it like that, by all means. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do that for very long. What do you mean? What happened? So, I suppose I should tell you about this now rather than later. One day, as we were nearing the end of development, we were hacked by an espionage organization. Somehow they gained word of our development and stole what was essentially the complete research that we held in our possession. The company's name is Grontech. Ever since they copied the blueprints from under our nose, we've had to do two jobs. Our main historian job, as well as tracking them and making sure they don't alter in time anyway. If they do that, well, time could potentially fall apart. We knew the risk when we started developing the machine. It's unfortunate that the blueprints got out of our hands before we could stop Grontech. Oh man. How do you prevent them from doing anything? We usually cut them off in the past. Use some disruptors I developed to send them back to their own time without hurting them. TENSHI is working on getting a lock on their location in order to shut down their facility for good. Hasn't any results as of yet, however. Dang. You have tried negotiating with them, telling them the dangers? Of course, they go against our words, saying that science was meant to be tested. We just aren't sure whether they're responsible enough to handle time travel technology. Well, when you think about it, is anyone responsible enough for it? Sorry, forget I said anything. Was there anything else you wanted to know, Kenji? Yeah, about what happens to people who pass through the time window. Now, how did I know you would ask me about that? I'm asking purely for scientific... Yeah. Sure, save it, you perv. So, basically, the science behind it is that when a person goes through the time window, the endocrine system gets a sort of hypercharge, if you will. It causes it to work overtime, and thus it produces an outlandish amount of estrogen. This, among a few other things, makes the girls grow more womanly curves and act a lot more seductive. So it messes with the brain? Essentially yes, but we've tested it enough to make sure none of the effects are harmful or permanent. So we'd ask that you stay in the room for 24 hours after any of the girls comes back through the time window. So as to prevent any sort of activities. I shuffled uncomfortably as she said it. A stern look on her face, I nodded silently. Now, then, anything else you want to know? I think that's all I can handle for now, Michelle. Thank you. I'm more than happy to talk about these things, Kenji. Feel free to talk to me about anything else that may confuse you. For now, go get some rest. Yeah, alright. I'll see you tomorrow. Whew, I'm exhausted. All three of them seem really nice though. It will be nice to be around them and get my mind off things. I dressed in a loose t-shirt and some shorts and hopped into bed, quickly passing out. And I think the passing out is a perfect moment for us to cut it here. And yeah, so far it's been a pretty good story. I mean, it's not that we have to do much, we just have to click through it and read it. But I mean, his parents died. That's shit. But basically, right now, he's in heaven. So he's at a place with three girls and his grandpa, okay, just forget about grandpa, who can travel in time and return with bigger boobs and feel drunk. I mean, how awesome can life be to you? If you think different, just write it in the comments, and if you think the same, leave a thumbs up. And if you want to know how the story continues, then tune in tomorrow. And for now, I say thanks for watching by your pacemaker.